Hey everyone, it's Coach Rick. So I want to apologize. The sound quality of the live feed from the Facebook event where we had a meet and greet was a little bit garbled, and we're going to fine tune that so it'll be effortless. In fact, we're going to have some classes, but as we evolve, which is what I'm doing, I'm evolving from the fires to a phoenix. But the objective is to get you guys empowered so there's not too much of a hiccup. Now, the one big reason I did this was to all my friends that happen to be patients on Facebook or all my followers on YouTube that I see either locally or internationally. I always want you guys to try to gain from the common questions that I see in the clinic or on the street. I'm not going to have a medical clinic at Advocate Bartlett anymore, but that does not mean I'm going to be not practicing medicine. So I put together the highlight reel of the event, and these are some of the, I can't go through everything, but these are some of the most common questions that were bounced from the audience. And good audience too. So if you missed it because you didn't get a ticket, we have to limit this to 50 at a time. But you might want to click on the next event, which is going to be in about 2 weeks. So just FYI, the next event is going to be another meeting at the Endorphine Effect to prepare for, drum roll, a hike to Devil's Lake. But that's not going to be the end. It's going to be a hike to Devil's Lake, which would essentially be tryouts, and you don't have to be a hiker, but just to give you a little preemptive strike, the objective is to use exercise of any form that's interesting and engaging to help you make lifestyle changes. If it happens to be a hike, hey, listen, you don't really need to do much for a hike, but it's kind of nice when you train for something. But this is going to be not just stopping at the beautiful fall colors of Devil's Lake. It's going to be to get to Colorado, 2021, July, 13,000 feet. I know I did 14,000 feet, and for those of you who really want adventure, I'll take you all the way, but it depends on the crowd. But 13,000 feet is also equal to 4K. And I think 4K is easier than 4.2K, but regardless, I'll post that. Check the link down below. Save a ticket because I'm sure it'll fill up. But as far as common questions for my patients, my subscribers. So this is it. I'll just preface by saying these questions were thrown up by the audience, and I tried to answer as truthfully as I could. I can't really divulge everything because I still had to separate with a contract intact. And there's some rules that you can't step over when you have a contract. So even if you end a contract. But number one question was the role that I have at the Endorphin Effect, EE. So I plan to do lifestyle changes. And in a nutshell, when a doctor leaves an organization, the organization has to protect themselves, which is fair, in that the doctor might take the entire body of lives that doctor took care of and take it with him to the next hospital. And obviously that's not fair to the hospital that I used to work with. But here's the thing. If I was recognized as a family practice doctor, primary care, I do that in air quotes because that's what I was recognized as, because that's what I billed as. But all you guys know, I haven't stopped at primary care. I went on to sports medicine fellowship. Fellowship is extra training out of my pocket. Nobody else pays for it but me. But I went to extra year of sports medicine training. I went 2 extra years of integrative medicine fellowship. I went an extra year of medical acupuncture certification. I went an extra 400 hours of yoga teacher training. All this stuff, including a visit to Harvard for mind-body medicine too. All this stuff is longitudinal. And I think, to be selfish, it was mostly for me because I wanted to be healthier because I had some medical problems way back when. And lo and behold, the medical problems are because of my work. Because I tell you, since I quit my job at Advocate, man, there's so much crap off my shoulders. And it's almost like I can see, the blinders aren't there anymore. I can see beautifully where my trajectory is supposed to be. When you have blinders on, you sometimes don't see the off-ramp. And you just blow right by it. I still got to get to that destination, 3,000 miles away. Oh, there's a shortcut, too bad. So sometimes, I guess that's the narrowed vision of stress response, but Ain't no more stress response with me. So I want to empower my patients to be the best they can be, live to 100, not be on any medicines, be able to hold your bladder and not wear a diaper, and also think on your own and be independent. It'd be great if we could, but that's just not the norm in the United States. I think it has a lot to do with the foods we eat, the activities we don't do, the stress we eat, not actually eat, but the stress that we imbibe, and then the medical community. So when you're not given a choice, and this is where my doctor is going to get pissed off, but when you're not given a choice because the authority tells you that's all you got, if you trust us MDs, if you trust an average MD, then you'll take that as there's no other choice. But there's always a choice. And I think sometimes when your mechanic only has one tool, the choices will narrow. And then you will diligently say, that is the only choice I can fix, but I only have a screwdriver. Now, if your mechanic has a screwdriver, a hammer, a chisel, a blowtorch, a glue stick, a light, a manual, I think that you have more options. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but damn it, I did more training and busted my ass to be as good as I can for myself. And if that translates to being better for my patients, I'll think outside the box. And obviously, not to get on a rant here, but it takes time to do that. And if you're in the Western medicine insurance-based paradigm, there's not much time. So docs have to speak and think in algorithm. And the algorithm says, as soon as you open your mouth and say, sore throat, it goes immediately to strep, swab, antibiotics, see what he does. So that's just one example, but it's truncated. It has to become truncated to make the visit concise. Even in psychiatry, which you wouldn't think, but that's... So bottom line is that Western medicine is here to stay. It's very ingrained in society, but thankfully with the internet and a lot of good information, now there's also a lot of bad information, so you have to sift through that. I can be your translator, but you have to sift through that. People have empowered themselves to make changes on their own. And that's why I love working, or at least my team at Endorphine Effect. They don't have the option for surgery. They don't have the option for giving people, patients, clients, medications. They have to work with the basic building blocks of what's malleable, what can be changed. Food, activity, mindful practice, sleep, weight. So all those things can be changed, and they do a great job as a team. And I've always admired that. They're right across the driveway from me, but they are a training facility. My office was a medical clinic. So, which goes to the next question, am I still a doc? No one is going to take away my hard-earned, I think I came up with, after both fellowships, yes, I am board eligible in family practice. I'm board eligible in integrative medicine. I can take a CAQ. I didn't do all these things because they cost money. I didn't think I needed them. I was grandfathered in at Advocate, so why should I spend $1,000 to take the test? So I have all these accomplishments. No one can take that away. So, and I have an MD from a medical school that no one will take away. I will always hang that MD. I'll hang my fellowships. If you want me to take the test, give me $1,000. I'll take it just for you, and then we'll be good. But I don't need that crap. So, am I still a doctor? I will always be your doctor. And I will run circles around most of my colleagues that are primary care. I will say that with an ego, because I've seen what other docs do. So that'll bring me down to other integrative medicine doctors. Not to bash my primary care colleagues, because I was shoulder to shoulder with you in the meetings, and there were a lot of meetings. But I think my primary care colleagues do a good job. Some of them outstanding jobs. But hey, listen, you got to put the due diligence in as far as reading the books and doing the training, and that costs money. I think I spent $50,000 to $60,000 for my fellowship training. I could have put that in the bank, but I thought it would be useful to engage a different kind of understanding. of nutrition, mindful practice, acupuncture, yoga, breath exercise. I think all that is important. And it turned out, hey, it was important, not only for my health, for my family's health, and my community's health. So everything I'm getting, I live that and I translate it to you. Now, that goes to the next step, that my algorithm is not the same as your algorithm. And my 79-year-old lady, Ramona, that came to the conference too, she doesn't have the same algorithm as my 20-plus-year-old patients. So everybody has to have a personal design. And when you get forced to fit into an algorithm, you're asking for trouble. So I am not going to suggest anybody at Advocate. If you need somebody just to refill your medicines, just take whoever is close by. I mean, last time I read statistics for primary care, most patients and families pick a primary care doctor within 15 minutes of their house. So I would stick to that, 15 minutes, and somebody hopefully that is not too gun heavy with prescribing stuff. But you're going to need something, perhaps antibiotics for cold or cough, inhaler refill if you have asthma, maybe an order for a nasal swab, or an order to use your HSA for an enrollment in the Endorphine Effect. So that will take me to my next one. Does EE take insurance? No, it's a training facility, a wellness center, but more than a wellness center. And no, medical insurance goes to established medical specialties, subspecialties. And a wellness center isn't in the paradigm of medical practice. I like to think of it as sick care or disease management. That's what the hospitals and the doctors do. That's what I did. I did that. I worked in an immediate care center. I could bang out people in 10 minutes, less, sometimes 7.5 minutes, if they had the exact things and they didn't ask any further questions. And how dare they ask questions, right? But hey, listen, I tried always, whenever I gave an antibiotic, to always say, hey, listen, if you don't get any better, try this. When you do get better, get on a probiotic. You might, if you have this all the time, you might want to see somebody take care of your nose, rinse your nose. And that is how I came about with putting videos together on YouTube, which I wasn't allowed to share at the later parts of my employment as a doctor, because my YouTube videos technically make money. I get reimbursement for that. It's not much. I probably get about $100 every 2 months, which is, it goes back to the YouTube channel to buy fancy wood and lights. But I mean, this is my basement. I don't have a studio. I don't have an office. Well, I now have an office at Endorphine Effect. I'm going to be filming everywhere there. So come on by one of these days and watch the filming. But I do make money, but it's not that much, I don't think. It's $50 a month. And I think it's fair to maybe buy some more equipment. I'm getting a new stand soon, maybe a new GoPro camera, and this stuff. But as it evolves, I have 7,000 subscribers. If I get 10,000, I hear that once you hit 10,000, it logarithmically increases to 100,000 and then 1 million, and then I'll make money. But that's not what I'm doing this for. And I think the hospital saw that as a threat, or I don't know, making money outside of insurance. So they told me I couldn't. And I did the videos to truncate my visits so I can shorten the visits. And instead of going through a long litany of how does fish oil work to decrease cholesterol, how do you take fish oil, what's the best form, I'd rather just refer on the homework I would write, see my video on YouTube, because I have everything in a 20-minute segment of YouTube that will extend your total visit to an hour and a half, which I don't have in the office because I take insurance. I used to take insurance. I don't take insurance anymore. So EE does not take insurance, and I cannot take insurance because I'm technically not allowed to practice medicine. I should say prescribe medications or come up with a diagnosis within a boundary of where I used to work. And again, that's fair. I have to get the details of how long that's supposed to last. But here's the beauty. I am well versed with what to do in the gym. Everything I do in the gym, without mentioning one diagnosis, without writing one prescription, is going to be life-changing. It has been. For the majority of the people that I change lives, I don't usually give prescriptions. If I have to, I will, until you can get off the prescription and then continue to lead a healthy life. But this is what I'm going to do. That was with meeting people, once every 3 to 6 months. But now that I have a team of people that can accelerate that, I can be the guy that writes the exercise, mindful prescription or nutritional prescription. Does not need an MD for that, but I can write that. But the other coaches that work at Endorphin Effect will be the pharmacists that take care of filling that prescription, whether it's exercise, nutrition, mindful practice, breath exercise, hiking, like I'm going to be doing in 2 weeks. So please trust my new team, and please test drive and invest in my new team. I guarantee. The folks at the end of the meeting, Jay led, because I noticed some of my patients were getting a little stiff. So Jay, one of the other coaches, led I think it was a 2-minute routine. And it was pretty refreshing to get up and have somebody teach you and empower you to be able to move, versus us docs who say, well, don't do that anymore. Does it hurt when you move your back? Don't do it. Henny Ugman, for those of you baby boomers. Doc, it hurts when I do this. Don't do this. Right, $50. So my suggestion is test drive my other coaches. Test drive me. Now this is going to be a different paradigm. I will take appointments through my website, Herbal 411, which I'm revamping because I'm getting more traffic, so I have to make it more robust. And I'm going to try, one of the people that attended was wondering if there's a notification bell if you subscribe to, or if you join my website, Herbal 411. And I have to work on that. So I now have a team. It's not just me doing these things in my basement. It's now going to be a team of other people and individuals working on this. And that's why I will fix this technical glitch that happened and make Facebook Live and YouTube Live beautiful. So you hang in there. I appreciate you being patient. So other things. So I already answered a couple of these things. I do have one other integrative medicine doctor that's in the area, Dr. Pat Massey, and I have no problems with referring patients to him because I know his training. His training was actually, he was in the integrative medicine program at Arizona before I was. I watched him from the 90s onward, and I wondered, how is this guy able to get people to move that failed their back surgery? And he did Qigong and taught Tai Chi, and I'm thinking, that's all? And that's all that's necessary. That is enough. But, if you go to the big guys, they'll tell you, I did all you can, I cut as much as possible, just don't do that anymore. And I don't agree with that. I think there's always a way to work around the roadblocks. Just have to have an open mind. So sometimes if you have other alternative and complementary training, you'll have other options and pathways to see. So how about my patients that had recent blood tests? Because I did leave abruptly, and if I didn't apologize, I'm very sorry. But as I came back from Colorado, and yes, I summited 2 14,000-foot mountains. I didn't think I was going to do it, but I did it. I was going to do it for inspiration. I'm going to put a film out later today, and show you what I went through, just to get you fired up, and maybe you can come join me and the Endorphin Effect team at Devil's Lake. We're going to go out when the fall colors change, but the meeting is in 2 weeks, on the 26th of September, Saturday, 11 o'clock. So please, if the tickets are gone fast, I'll broadcast it better this time. But there's not going to be any limits to how many people meet up at Devil's Lake just to see the fall. And there's different tracks and different trails for different tolerances and experience. But anybody who passes Devil's Lake, because I'll be keeping my eye on you, you're going with us to Colorado. I'll tell you about that later. So we went through everything here, and these were the top other programs at Endorphin Effect. I'm going to put a link to the Endorphin Effect down below, and there are other problems. You can do a la carte, you can do program pre-buys. I'm going to do a video with Miwa. She's the owner of Endorphin Effect. I'll be doing videos of all the other coaches one at a time to introduce you. I already did too, Miwa and then Paul Sharp. So I want you to be comfortable with my team. So I write the prescriptions, they fill the prescriptions. The prescriptions are not for medicines, they're for lifestyle change, eating, movement, calming practice and mindful practice, and probably just trying to get a better lifestyle altogether. So those prescriptions will be filled by my friends. And they write their own prescriptions too, for their clients. But I think this is going to be a very cohesive group. We're there to support you. And if I can get you guys healthy, number one, you become a warrior. I think if you can conquer disease, you are a warrior. Number two, if you can be boring to your doctor because he has nothing to do, because you kicked some ass, changed your lifestyle, lowered your cholesterol, lower your diabetes, lower your blood pressure, possibly wean off your medicines, control your pain pills, and then maybe lose some weight in the meantime, you'll impress him. And that reminds me, as far as test driving new docs, Monica had a good question, actually had a good statement. When you test drive a new doc, just like I was challenged, but I call it challenge. I remember John, one of my guys that survived prostate cancer, you know who you are, John. He was very well read, and he would bring in paper when there wasn't that much internet available, and he would print up some really good copy, some really good articles from books. And at first I thought, oh boy, I got to read this stuff again. But it was good because he had some really deep questions, and I wanted to be able to answer appropriately. Even if it was just, I have to refer you because I don't know that one, that's okay. I have no problems with saying that. But it made me learn. And that was about the time Whole Foods came to fruition in Wheaton. I think it was one of the first stores in Chicago. And that was my journey because I read a book from Andy Weil, my mentor at the Arizona Center for Integrative Medicine. And I thought, oh, this guy's pretty cool, but can't afford it right now. I'll postpone that. I did postpone it until the universe kicked me in the ass and said, go, would you? Just like last Monday, came back from Colorado, and the universe kicked me in the ass again. It gently nudged me in January, but I stopped. If you didn't know this story, I had an event. I already declared I was leaving. That's to some people. And the letters were about to be sent. And then I had an event January for Ignite Your Life, where meanwhile, one of my coaches, in addition to all the other coaches, and all my other coaches are excellent too, we all presented how to change your life. And then Taz, one of the attendees, said at the end, what's this about you leaving? And there were 100 people there, more. And I had to divulge that I was stressed out, and I don't think this is I didn't have any plans. I just wanted to tap out and say, I can't take this anymore. But the whole room got up and said, don't go. And it was like a confessional because I had a long line of people outside the meeting room, and I wanted them to go see my other coaches, but there's a long line that was saying goodbye, and that really pulled my heartstring. And it made me think, I can't leave this community because I feel so obliged to make sure, I have to make sure they're healthy. I got to make sure the people, the warriors that I changed stay warriors. And I just don't trust anybody else to do that. It's unfortunate, but maybe if you test drive your doc in a polite manner, please, and say, hey doc, thank you for the blood pressure pills, but is there anything else I can do naturally? Maybe that would be the first thing. Can I go see a nutritionist? Can I go see a physical therapist to teach me some exercises because I got a bad knee? You can't just see a nutritionist if you don't have a disease, believe it or not. You have to have either diabetes, an insulin resistant issue, and that's why I was able to test a lot of people. They were insulin resistant. That got them in to get covered by insurance. So ask your doctor for an early morning insulin level again, and that'll get you covered. And that'll get you at least a nutritionist, although my favorite nutritionist left the hospital too. So, but it's somebody that's covered under the insurance. At least you'll have a mentor outside your doctor. Physical therapy, you have to have an injury, but back pain is easily a declared injury. Knee pain is easily a declared injury. And if you say you have that, that's a little easier than nutrition. You can at least get to a physical therapist. Not all physical therapists will be well versed, but Mike and Lori at Advocate are very good with regards to, they're all good, They took care of my guys, no question. But Lori's a good friend of mine. Mike I've worked with, also a trainer, and they're good with taking care of your ailment in addition to pushing you a little further so that maybe they can hand you off to a personal trainer. And that's where the endorphin effect comes in, because we can take over. In fact, I'm going to make sure my coaches know what to expect as soon as somebody discharges from physical therapy, so we can take over immediately and make sure the transition is strong and make sure you have good goals to apply what you learned into continued lifestyle changes. I think that was the missing link. I'm going to make sure this void is filled, because there's nothing like that here in Illinois. There are a couple other places that I know of, Northwestern, North Shore, good places, very popular, backed up. I think the reservations are a year out. But all of us that were trained do it a little bit differently. I honor you for being a friend, following me on this journey. I definitely plan to kick some ass here. And now that I have no restraints, hey, man, if I have no restraints, I'm letting it all loose. And that doesn't mean I'm going to rant. That means I can do whatever I want to teach you and empower you to the fullest that I can and the fullest you'll tolerate. So if you want to change, come to me and my team. If you can't take it, if it's too much, we'll scale it down for you. There's no algorithm here. Everybody has to have personal design. And if we don't get to that summit one way, we'll find another trail to get to the summit. But it's up to us to lead you. We'll be there hand and foot to get you successful to conquer the disease or make it to 100. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps with those of you that tried to tune in. I apologize. This is a learning process. I'm going to fine tune this and make it more presentable and easy. So please, if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Otherwise, sign up. Those tickets went pretty fast. So sign up. And it's not just hiking. Listen, it's not just hiking. It's to see fall colors. But it's also everything that we're going to teach you, that I'm going to teach you with regards to preparing for a hike, will also lower your blood pressure, decrease your appetite, make you sleep better, maybe lose some weight, build up muscle. So please, all the things that I profess are in a sneaky way going to get you healthy. But I think that's a good sneaky way. So thank you for watching up until this point. I'll get through the comments. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you at the next video.